Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy Edit. Today's video, I'm bringing you guys buy or sell for the 6th round of current ADP for fantasy football in 2020. I'm going to be talking about every single player inside of the 6th round based off of current ADP and talk about whether I'm going to buy or sell them at their current draft spot, which pretty much means am I going to be drafting the player or am I going to be selling them, meaning I'm going to be staying away and not looking for them and probably be drafting another player at that given spot. So before I get into the video, I'd like to ask you guys, could please go down below and click that subscribe button. It's free, and I put out content every single day to help you guys win that 2020 Fantasy Football Championship. And while you are down there, please make sure to check out the Patreon for a bunch of rankings and a bunch of notes and all kind of stuff that you might want to help you win that 2020 Fantasy Football Championship. So without further ado, let's get into it. Buy or sell 6th round ADP. Also, if you guys want to see rounds 1 through 5, those are also videos on my channel. So we're going to start off here and talk about every player. I'm going to read all their names off, and then we're going to go one by one and talk about each player and my overall opinion of them. So right now, based off of current ADP, Stefan Diggs is the first pick of the 6th round, followed by Mclaurin, then Mark Ingram, then Raheem Mostert, Kareem Hunt, Cam Akers, and then the second half of the 6th round begins with David Montgomery, followed by Jarvis Landry, AJ Green, Eze, Evan Ingram, Hollywood Brown, and Tyler Boyd. So we're going to start off here with the 601 Stefan Diggs. Now, Stefan Diggs' ADP has actually moved down one spot. He was in last time's video, the 5th round ADP, at the 512, the final pick of the 5th round. Now, he's the first pick of the 6th round. In my opinion, has went unchanged with Stefan Diggs. I like Stefan Diggs here in the 6th round. Now, do I like him as much as some of these other wide receivers? No, but what I do like about him is his safety. I feel like he is going to be really safe inside of the 6th round, so he's going to be a buy for me. I think that Stefan Diggs puts up that solid safety net for your team with obviously that nice ceiling as well. He's also going to have a very high ceiling in Buffalo due to the fact that if Josh Allen is able to connect with the ball to Mr. Stefan Diggs, you're going to be jumping through a goddamn table like you are part of the Bills Mafia after you draft Stefan Diggs, because he could be very dangerous in this offense. Now, I do worry about Mr. Josh Allen kind of spreading the ball out. He doesn't necessarily have one key target. Now, obviously, last season, John Brown was the guy for him, but still, Cole Beasley was still dominating, and both of those guys are returning this year, both John Brown and Cole Beasley. So, obviously, it's not just some pushovers there with Stefan Diggs. I think Stefan Diggs has a good season, but if Josh Allen can really control his arm, and he's been working hard in the offseason to do that, if he can do that, I would not be surprised if Stefan Diggs finished as a top 12 wide receiver. We've all known he could have done that in Minnesota, but I'm pretty sure Kirk Cousins fucking hated him and didn't throw him the ball. And he also had to deal with the competition of Mr. High T, Adam Thielen. At the 602, we have Washington football team wide receiver Terry McLaurin. Now, if you guys have been with me for a little bit of time, I talk about Terry McLaurin in every single mock draft. He's one of my favorite wide receivers for fantasy football. So he's a buy. He's an insta-lock. I like him more than Stefan Diggs. But I figured Diggs should still be a buy since they go one spot off each other, and I still like him a decent amount. But I like Terry McLaurin a bit more. That's because I see Terry McLaurin with a whole bunch of upside in Washington. We saw him last year play his rookie season out, and this guy came out of fucking nowhere. The reports out of college, Terry McLaurin's not all that good. Comes into the NFL, going up against cornerback ones. This guy is the #1 wide receiver on his team. He's the alpha wide receiver of the Washington football team as a rookie. Now, going into his sophomore year in the NFL, now he gets a new coach, Riverboat Ron Rivera, who should be a better coach than Gruden. Then he gets a new type of quarterback. Now, it's the same quarterback, but a new version of fucking Dwayne Haskins, because Dwayne Haskins was looking like Dwayne Hashcan, the goddamn trash can last year. But now I think he's going to be looking much better with Ron Rivera, and I think that Terry McLaurin is going to have yet another amazing season. I expect over 1,000 yards. I expect maybe 1,200 plus yards from Terry McLaurin. I really think he is that good of a player, and I think he is a guy that is in the perfect situation to dominate. Now, you might be thinking, Nick, why the fuck would a wide receiver on Washington be in a perfect situation to dominate? It's because the defense, while the front seven is pretty good, the safeties and all that are going to fuck up, and for some reason, they're going to always have to throw back into the game, and that is great for Mr. Scary Terry McLaurin, so I like Scary Terry McLaurin at the 602. At the 603, we have Mark Ingram of the Baltimore Ravens. Now, obviously, last season, Mark Ingram had a fantastic year. Now, why was that? It was due to the fact that his touchdown total was I don't know what the fuck I just said, heavily impacting his point total. He was scoring so many touchdowns that it was really elevating him up the rankings, or not the rankings, just up the fucking fantasy football leaderboard at the running back position. And I don't think that happens again in 2020. I think with the addition of J.K. Dobbins, you can legitimately wish any catch that this guy will ever make, throw that shit out of here, because they're not going to throw the ball all that much to Mark Ingram. This is a team that is going to, I think they're going to use J.K. Dobbins enough to fuck up Mark Ingram and not use him enough to make it so that J.K. Dobbins is useful. So I feel like Dobbins won't be all that useful. I think Mark Ingram will be fine in certain games. He's obviously going to have those games where he just fucking bumfucks a defense because he's on the Ravens. He's on one of the best teams in the NFL, a team that's run heavy. Now, that's another concern of mine. I think they're going to be less run heavy than in 2019. Obviously, Lamar Jackson rushes for 1,000 yards. Mark Ingram goes for over 1,000 yards. It's pretty fucking easy when you're rushing for this team. It is such a good system for that. But the problem is, like I said, I think they're going to have to throw the ball more. Why is this? Because I think the Tennessee Titans kind of laid a blueprint out, to beat the goddamn Ravens. They were able to beat the Ravens. You know what you do? You contain Lamar Jackson. It's like in Madden. When you run the contain, quarterback spy, you make sure that Lamar can't go crazy. You make sure that Mark Ingram is behind the line. You can't get a pass there. And then, boom, you make Lamar Jackson pass. I think Lamar Jackson's a good enough passer to overcome it for real life and for fantasy football. But I'm just saying, if they're running the ball less, that's going to hurt their number one running back. So he is going to be a sell for me at the 603. Now on to another running back, Raheem Mostert of the San Francisco 49ers. Two teams that could potentially meet in the Super Bowl in 2020. Now Raheem Mostert to me is a great player, but he is stuck in what we would call a running back by committee. This is the running back by committee of death in San Francisco. If you're going to draft one of these running backs, it better the fuck not be Raheem Mostert, because he is not worth it in the 6th round. You are probably going to end up launching a remote at your television like you're an 8-year-old playing the Wii when that shit came out and you were bowling. That's what's going to happen to you, because out of nowhere, right, they're going to be scoring, right? Raheem Mostert has like 7 points, right? You're like, oh, okay, you know, it's the 4th quarter. They're on the 1-yard line. And then out of nowhere, they sub in Jeff Wilson, or they'll sub in Tevin Coleman, or they're bringing Kyle Juszczyk to fucking run in a goddamn touchdown, because that's just what they do in San Francisco. It is not going to be reliable on a week-to-week basis who is going to be the number one guy in touches. Now, it might start off with Raheem, and out of nowhere, halfway through the game, Jerick McKinnon might come in. Unless injuries happen behind Raheem Mostert, I will just not feel comfortable enough taking him in the 6th round. That's why I'd much rather target Tevin Coleman or Jerick McKinnon in the later rounds of the draft, because obviously you're getting high upside in an offense that really likes to run the ball. It's just there's too many cooks in the kitchen for me to want to draft Raheem Mostert there at the 604. At the 605, we have Kareem Hunt of the Cleveland Browns. Now, obviously, last season, Kareem Hunt was suspended for 8 games for that incident. Before the season, obviously, a shitty act by Kareem Hunt. But he comes back, and he gave us something that we do like to see. Now, obviously, not the greatest guy. Pretty good at fantasy football, though, because Kareem Hunt was fucking balling at the end of the season. I think he's a very safe pick inside the 6th round at the running back position. He now gets a new head coach. Obviously, they got rid of Freddie Kitchens. I don't know what the fuck. The Freddie Kitchens wasn't even that bad, but obviously not as good as Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski, formerly of the Minnesota Vikings, a very run-heavy team like you saw last season. He was the O coordinator. Now he becomes the head coach of the Browns. And with a very run-heavy system with two of the best backs in the NFL, arguably, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb on the same goddamn team, top 12 kind of guys in the NFL if you're talking skill-wise, Kareem Hunt is a goddamn monster. He's going to be one of those guys that's going to be able to run out there, out wide, and be a wide receiver. He's going to be a guy getting dump-offs. He's going to be a guy getting touches out of the backfield. Kareem Hunt is going to have a great season. I got him here in the 6th round as a buy. Definitely a safe piece to add to your team inside of the 6th round, especially if you load it up on wide receivers early. At the 606, we have rookie Cam Akers of the Los Angeles Rams. Now, with Akers, we are in a tough situation because when you're drafting here, you have to understand that he might not be the starter to start off the season. Now, it seems like Darrell Henderson might be healthy to start week 1, which is even going to further suck back my Cam Akers love. I still love him, though. I'm still going to buy him, but buyers beware. I'm not sure that at the beginning of the season he's going to be the starter, so it may take a couple of weeks, but I think eventually he will emerge as the alpha running back on the team because I personally believe his skill set is much better than Darrell Henderson's and fat-ass Malcolm Brown. At the 607, we got to the back half of the 6th round. If you guys have enjoyed thus far, please make sure to click that subscribe button down below. Like I said off the rip, I make videos every single day to help you guys win that 2020 Fantasy Football Championship. I would personally really appreciate it. So at the 607, we have David Montgomery. This would have been an insta buy. He would have been a buy in like the 4th fucking round had he not gotten hurt. Now, obviously with his injury, they say 2 to 4 weeks from when it happened a couple of days ago. Now, what does that mean? I'm going to be honest with you, I think he misses the first 2 to 3 games of the season. So this is where you have to determine if you are willing to bite the bullet on the first couple of games. If he's your running back 3, draft him. If you're going to need Montgomery to start week 1, obviously, I would not draft him because I personally don't believe he's going to be healthy to start off the season. I think David Montgomery is going to be very good. I think he's going to get a whole lot of usage, and I think he's going to have an uptick from his rookie year last season, but obviously, that injury is a bit concerning, so, you can buy him, you can sell him. I'd actually like to know what you guys think about David Montgomery. I'm going to buy him, though, because I believe in the talent of the guy, and I will happily wait a couple of weeks to get Mr. David Montgod back. At the 608, we have Jarvis Juice Landry, formerly of my Miami Dolphins, now a Cleveland Brown. Now, Jarvis Landry is one of those guys that is just a fucking sucker of the targets. This guy, he whips out the goddamn Ghostbusters thing, and it's like instead of sucking in a ghost, he's sucking in fucking targets to this guy. He's a target monster. No matter how much they run the ball, it's not going to matter at all because Jarvis Landry is going to get his. Him and Baker have a great connection. I think that Jarvis Landry is definitely worth a pick in the 6th round. Definitely a very safe pick in half PPR and full PPR leagues due to the excess amount of volume coming his way in all situations of the game. He's going to get the ball. It doesn't matter. They could be winning by 30, which they're not going to be because they're the Browns. They could be losing by 70, and they'll still give a fucking nice little slant or a nice little curl and throw it to Jarvis Landry. The guy is just a monster when it comes to PPR and half PPR. So at the 609, very nice, we have AJ Green of the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, if you've been here for a while, you know my opinion on AJ Green. This guy's a sell. This guy's a duck and fucking cover. Hide your kids, hide your goddamn wife, because you don't want to be drafting AJ Green. Now, is AJ Green a bad player? No. But the problem with AJ Green is his injury concerns. This guy cannot stay healthy. He gets hurt in the shower. He trips on the shampoo. Broken leg. This guy is walking down the street. Someone's fucking dog randomly attacks him. Actually, he's so unlucky with injuries. He's walking down the street. Some guy's walking his fucking fish. The fish jumps out, climbs up his fucking nose, takes his brain over. That's what happens because he's just so unlucky with injuries. So I'm not drafting a guy that's injury prone in the 6th round, a guy that I don't think is going to play the whole season. So why bother wasting your 6th round pick on that? And he got hurt already. Now, I understand he's coming back. He is going to be playing, probably. But when he he proved my bias towards him instantly by getting hurt to start off the practice. I don't know. I mean, AJ Green could be very good. This could be the biggest miss of all my drafts because I say, even if you don't like a player, you can draft him in some leagues if you play in a bunch of leagues. But with AJ Green, I would rather get shot in the goddamn face before I drafted AJ Green because I personally do not believe in AJ Green due to his health issues. At the 6'10", another guy who loves getting hurt. He's a fan of the blue tent. Easy Evan Ingram at the 6'10". Evan Ingram's breakdown is brought to you guys by Manscaped. Manscaped.com, code Notorious at checkout for free shipping as well as 20% off. So if you want you the nicest looking pair of family jewels down below, use fucking Manscaped. If you want your balls to smell amazing, use Manscaped because they have ball deodorant. It is next level what they sell on Manscaped. Check it out, manscaped.com/notorious, or not /notorious, just use promo code Notorious at checkout for free shipping and 20% off. I would really appreciate it. And now back into it. Evan Ingram at the 6'10". So what am I going to do with Easy E? Now, I do realize that this guy could be a top 3 tight end if he stays healthy. But that's like saying, I'll see it when fucking pigs fly, because pigs don't fly. Evan Ingram doesn't stay healthy. Now, I hope he does. Same thing with AJ Green. If I'm talking about a guy who's injury prone, I hope that they stay healthy. I don't pray or hope that anyone gets hurt on these teams, but Evan Ingram is just a sell for me. Also, the fact is, I'm not really trying to draft these middle round tight ends. If I'm not getting Kelsey, if I'm not getting Kittle, if I'm not getting Andrews, I'm just waiting until like the 8th, 9th, 10th round, and then attacking guys later. Here in the 6th round, in one of the middle rounds, I'm just not going ahead and attacking Evan Ingram, who's a guy that concerns me due to injury. At the 6'11", we have Hollywood Brown of the Baltimore Ravens, the second Raven of the 6th round. Now, Hollywood Brown is a super duper high upside pick, but in my opinion, he's not safe enough for me to want to draft him at the 6'11" ahead of Tyler Boyd. Now, I like Hollywood Brown. I think Hollywood Brown could have a great season. I think he's one of those guys that you throw into the flex spot and is one of those guys that is a firecracker to your lineup. He can individually win you a week from his speed and from the explosiveness of the offense. Now, that is definitely possible, but I'd much rather Boyd with the side of caution and draft Tyler Boyd of the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I talked about AJ Green and him getting hurt, but if you buy Tyler Boyd, you hope AJ Green stays healthy, because on a points per game basis, Tyler Boyd is better with AJ Green. Now, that doesn't mean that when AJ Green's hurt, Tyler Boyd is fucking sitting down on the ground and doing nothing for you, because he's still going to play pretty well, but he plays much better on a points per game basis with AJ Green. Now, Tyler Boyd has had 2 1,000-yard NFL receiving yards total 2 years in a row, which is very good. I think this is going to be the 3rd year. Now, last year, he dealt with an absolute catastrophe at the quarterback position. He had Andy Dalton, right? And then they yank Andy Dalton for Ryan Finley. Then they yank Ryan Finley and put back in Andy Dalton. It was a shit show. It was a revolving carousel of confusion for Tyler Boyd. You know what Tyler Boyd did throughout that whole time? It didn't matter about the quarterback. Didn't matter about the situation. Didn't matter that the Bengals were the worst team in the NFL last season. Tyler Boyd was still eating like his name was Ezekiel Elliott, and I expect him to do the exact same thing, but better in 2020. I love Tyler Boyd in the 6th round or in the 7th round of my 2020 fantasy football draft. So thank you guys all for watching this video. If you made it this far, please make sure to click that subscribe button. While you're down there, check out the Patreon as well, and check out one of the videos that's on your screen right now. Use code NOTORIOUS at manscaped.com. Free shipping, as well as 20% off. I love you all. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see you guys later with the second banger of the day. Goodbye.